Hello and welcome to episode 8 of Plots in Darkenhaven, entitled The Sanquine Touch. Our guest for this evening is Tim, and he'll be playing Etsa Morai, who was a supporting cast in episode 5. So we'll see how that plays out, those who saw episode 5. I want to give a quick shout out to some of our sponsors and collaborators, of course, GUI Cube, where our world is created. There we go. Thank you, Allan. Brina Luna Artwork, who does all of our cool character art, Sirenscape for our sounds, and Foundry VTT for our virtual tabletop. At this point, we'll go into introductions like we normally do, because this is an episodic show. We want to make sure that those coming in for the first time get a little bit of background about these characters. The good news for this episode is all of these characters have been on show before, just not together. So we'll start with Valenrii.
Good evening, morning, whatever it's going to be. Sorry, time zones. So Valenrii is a Skundruz. He was on the show previously in episode 5, looking for a lost fusel. We, I believe, ended that episode having found it, and a little bit more of a surprise for him in that he found his long-lost wife as well, from before he was created as a Skundruz. Beyond that, he's basically an ex-con. Ex-criminal rather than ex-convict himself, and sort of
never convicted.
A little bit in the underworld.
Never convicted.
He doesn't have a lockdown tattoo. No, he's never.
You're one of the lucky ones.
Only until I'm caught.
All right, Stammond.
Yeah, I'm Stam. I'm a Myroon and a Fusilier. Apparently we have that in common, Valenrii. But unfortunately, I've got the tattoos to show for it. My time in lockdown. So, anywho, yeah, I like to shoot stuff, and I don't like to put up with bullpucky, if you know what I'm saying.
It's not about not shooting stuff. It's about not getting caught. That's the art.
Yeah, well, apparently I wasn't very good at it. I'm good at shooting stuff, though.
All right, it's Savanor.
Hello there, I'm Savanor, and I am the ringleader of this backwoods motley crew. I'm here to keep them in charge because I know all the rules and regulations, and I've been deemed the magistrate of this establishment. I even have my own badge.
And Etsa.
Hello, I am Etsa Morai, purveyor of various goods and iniquities, who has unfortunately ran into uneasy times as of late. Through no fault of my own, of course.
Never is.
No. And speaking of which, we're going to do a little bit of a previously on Plots in Darkenhaven, episode 5. So Valenrii was looking for a lost fusel core known as, the title of our episode, the Sanquine Touch. And the party found it. They found it at the Pauper's Gallery. It was on display. They broke in and found this weird ritual happening with other Skundruz, liberated the fusel core from its place, and then as Valenrii said, he found more than he bargained for, in that he found out his memories were unlocked by meeting his wife again from when he was a dwarf before becoming Skundruz. So during this reuniting in this very emotional time, Etsa took this opportunity of this emotional reconnection to part with the fusel core known as the Sanquine Touch, a very powerful fusel core that is so powerful that it breaks fusels after a very few uses. It basically breaks them down because it is such a powerful fusel core that a normal fusel cannot handle it for very long. And Etsa disappeared from the city. He talked to his partner at the pawn shop, Grendel's pawn shop, and he said, "Grendel, I'll take my leave now, and let the others know that if you see him again, that I said I had a great time, and toodaloo." And off he was with the Fusel Corps. And so now Etsa is our guest, and he's coming to the condemned building. And that's where we'll pick up here on episode 8, is Etsa coming to the condemned building, and seeing what happens. So Etsa, you arrive at the condemned building. Your clothes are dirty. And for those who see him in a moment, he looks like he might have lost 15 pounds, and he's obviously been beaten recently. And he knocks upon the door.
What's that? Somebody's at the door.
Oh, not again.
It's Avner, go get it.
I don't feel like it. Stammond, every day it's been somebody with an issue. Today, I want to just have a quiet day and just relax. All right, something
cool.
might come to the door. It might be an issue.
Come play some cards with me then.
Exactly.
And I'll pause a little bit. Valenrii is already here. He has come earlier this morning. You guys have had some tea and or ale, whatever you drink in the morning. Before you open the door, I'm gonna flashback a little bit because I was supposed to do this first. Valenrii, what you came for a reason. You didn't just come for tea or ale.
I came to thank you for your assistance recently. I have spent some time with Thonia, and we have been connecting with my memories. It has been rather tiresome and challenging, but also enrapturing at the same time. But in our downtime, I wanted to show you something that we have crafted, and he'll pull out from what you'll notice now is a second holster, a very finely crafted Fusel pistol. Knowing that Stammond is a Fusilier himself, I'll sort of not offer it to you, but offer it up for you to have a look at.
To look at. Oh yeah, well look at that.
And that
is something else.
So it's
Are we gonna have some target practice?
If you're interested.
I'm always interested.
What you do notice about the Fusel is that it has a few unique features compared to standard Fusels. It's crafted of some form of dark metal, and it's got a very fine gold filigree sort of throughout that metal, which, if you are aware of the marks, hints at symbolatry of Malefic and Viana, who are the Lord of Death and the Life Giver. And instead of a sort of physical mounting or in the middle, there's actually a chamber that seems to be filled with some sort of fluid.
And Stammond, you recognize this fluid. It's the same fluid you got off of Nibley Noblecog, the basically fake Zytherium stuff that Thonia was given by Sigismund.
Okay. And how do you remember how this got made, or did we know?
Yeah, you did not know, and my understanding is that Dulcinea is experimenting with it. There was a big explosion during one of our episodes.
Yeah, I heard about that one.
Experimenting with it, so you probably heard about that. And Nibley was kind of set free and pardoned, so he's probably also somewhere in town working on it. And then another vial that you have went to Sigismund's friend Thonia, which is Valenrii's dwarven wife.
Okay.
I mean, if you would like to
I
partake in
would love
some
to.
target practice.
Anytime I get a chance to shoot, I'm taking it.
All right. So again, before this, Valenrii and Stammond, you look down the hallway, and there is a target all the way down within the house.
I know.
You notice that Stammond has used before. So let's go ahead and have a contest of skills here. Each of you roll, and we'll just call the target down there an AC 12. You're going to make 3 attack rolls at the target, each of you. And then whatever you exceed by 12, add those numbers up. So, and then that we'll see who got the best score of 3 shots. So if you roll a 17, that's 5 points. If you roll a 13, that's a point. Add up your points at the end, and we'll see who is the best shot at this target practice.
After you, Stammond.
All right. You want me to just do 1 at a time or all 3?
Sure. We can do it that way.
Might as well.
Well, it's easier for me 1 at a time. All right.
Can I
My first
use
roll
my
is
thaumaturgy to vibrate the ground when Stammond goes to shoot?
Sure. All right, Stammond. It's a 14 for you then.
I rolled a 22.
Oh my god.
And I guess whatever the penalty is from what he did to me.
So you're basically
do I have any?
You're basically taking 2 off of whatever points you would have.
Okay, so that's a dirty 20 then. And then do I notice that this is in Savanu are doing this?
Give me a perception check.
Okay. That's a 19.
Yeah, you see him kind of snickering a little bit. His smile, you notice him smiling as he sits in the chair. And you're thinking, okay, yeah, it's him.
Sav, if you shake me too much, I might aim a little bit left where you are. Just be careful.
Your aim isn't that bad. I mean, it just
Oh,
slightly
no,
off.
I didn't say it was going to be an accident.
Let's make this at least a fair contest.
I mean, I'm making it fair for you. I've
All right.
seen him shoot.
All right, that was my first one. Are we switching back and forth? Or you want me to do
Yeah,
the
let's
next?
go back and forth. Go ahead, Valenrii.
right.
So my first roll was a 16, which makes it a 23. So 11.
All right. So so far, it looks like Valenrii is shooting more dead center than you are.
Okay.
Let's do another one.
And I'll turn to Antamina, like I said, a fair contest.
Oh, okay then. Well, let's see how you finish up then.
All right. Well, I hone right in on the bullseye, and that's a 28.
Ooh. All right. Valenrii.
That was a natural 20, by the way.
Oh, yeah. So he
Well,
hit
it
the
might have been.
bullseye.
And I
so that is
stare
a-
right at Valenrii. You see what
That's
I'm
a
saying?
19. So 26 should be a 14.
So
Believe.
you're up by 1 now, right? Because you were ahead by 3 on the first.
Yep.
Okay. All right.
Your final shots.
Oh, my final shot. Sorry. Okay, that wasn't as good. That's a 17.
Ooh. Wanting to clearly give you a bit of a win here, as I'm pointing, I just aim slightly down to the barrel to the left, fire with a 6.
That's right.
Which is actually a 13, so it still hits the target, bizarre.
Okay,
Barely hits
all
the
right.
target.
Barely.
Well,
And now you're
And-
at the end of this contest, before Stam gets to gloat, there's a knock at the door. There we go.
Dang.
It's
Well,
all right.
Valenrii-
As the knock comes, I just pull out my second fusel pistol and plant one straight in the bullseye. Me as well.
Well,
So, don't
Valenrii,
worry,
I'll
it
say
doesn't count.
it's a nice weapon, but obviously it can't make up for good shooting, can it?
We will see.
I tried to assist you. I really did. I'll go answer the door.
Well, outside the door, you see someone that you are not looking forward to seeing. Etsa's standing there. His clothes are clearly dirty. He's lost some weight, and he's obviously been beaten recently. There are some bruising about his neck and arms.
So I open up, hello, and then I see who it is, and goodbye.
Who was it, Sav?
Oh, it was Nothing. Absolutely nothing. It was this.
Oh, an old friend of yours then.
Unbelievable.
And that was episode
Here I
8 of
Oh, I really don't want to open this door, Stammond. The
Why not?
smell that's coming from outside is rank, and it's not from where we live.
Well, now I kind of want to see.
Oh God! I open the door,
Anyone
just
that
get out
doesn't
of the
like
way,
you is friend.
and walk off.
All
It's
right.
a moron outside.
Who is it? What do you want?
Hello, sir. I am a friend of, I believe, your associate here.
Friend of who?
Well, maybe a nice acquaintance would be more accurate.
An unfortunate happenstance is what I'd like to call you.
Yeah.
Why have you
I've-
darkened my doorstep today?
Well, it appears I'm in a bit of, how you could say, need of assistance.
So Corey, we're still talking through the closed door, right?
yeah.
Okay. I just thought I don't know who the hell this is. Do I? I haven't met Etsa, have I?
No, you have not. You've heard of him
Because he was
The
episode
party-
5.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
You've heard of
all
him.
right.
The party's talked about him, and how he.
But I still don't know it's even Etsa, did I?
Right.
I don't think I heard the name. All right. Yeah, I still don't know who you are or what you want.
Oh, let me
But if
introduce
Sav doesn't
myself.
like you, I'd love to hear your story.
Well,
Whose side are you on here?
It remains to be seen.
I am known as
I'm a sympathetic
Etsa.
person. Let's say that. Go ahead.
I am known as Etsa Morai.
Oh, I know who
Uh,
you are.
In,
All
in
right.
the background as he says his name, because my perception's terrible apparently. So, my just visage shifts completely. There's something of a glamour.
And I've had some dealings with your associates here and there, and we've gone on a few little mini adventures. Would have you?
Okay. So
Done
so
business.
Stam opens the door, but there's a pistol aimed right at Etsa as he does. I said, "Well, you must be pretty desperate to come back. You still want to talk to us?
Or stupid?
Probably both.
Well, come in and have a seat and tell us what's going on."
So
A motion inside.
I enter into the building, and I just plop down on the closest couch or chair and just sink into it.
Yeah, it creaks underneath you, I bet. Are you a
Not that
Garoon?
side. That side was clean. Oh, and I pressed it
I'm,
to take the rest of the couch.
I'm literally stood behind this sofa at the moment with my arms crossed, glowering at him. I'm not surprised you're in some need after what you took.
Actually, look like you got your just desserts.
Yes,
It does that to people.
I deserve that. That is true. I've not been the most upright of associates, but you can't blame me. It's business. Yes.
Can't blame you.
Do you even know what you took?
Well,
You
about
pilfered
that.
something of importance to this man last time we saw you slink out the back.
It is not its importance to me that is the problem.
It's importance to everyone. No one, especially him, should have anything of that caliber in their possession.
Oh, that was a nice pun, by the way, Sav.
You see what I did there?
I liked it. Yeah, go on.
Well, speaking of that, I ran into some trouble as far as offloading the Sanquine touch.
There is literally just a massive sigh from me.
I am entirely
Again.
shocked by this revelation.
Not surprised.
Of course, I met someone who I believed would be maybe not the most reputable of individuals, but could pay for it and would gladly take it off my hands. It was a half-elf. I believe her name was Valenrii or something or other along those roads. She was shifty, but I mean, that's the business we work in.
No honor among thieves, right?
Of course.
Huh,
So I
was
assume
shifty.
she was obliging in taking it off your hands,
Yes.
but not in paying you.
Yes. Well, actually, she did pay me, but something weird came over me, and I just felt it was not right to sell it. I even gave her back her money. And of course, you know, she still took it off me. But I believe she cursed me.
She cursed you with a conscience?
Oh.
No,
that
I
must
think
be
she actually
horrible
cursed
for
me
you.
with a curse. I believe she's done something to me. Maybe it was in the food. I don't know, but ever since then, I've had a strange turn of luck. It has been weird. Very, very weird. As you can see, I am very disheveled. I was robbed twice on the way here. And
So the universe delivered you karma, and now you wish for us to do what exactly?
assist me in recovering the Sanquine touch.
Assist you in recovering stolen merchandise? Are you kidding me?
I mean, I will make it worth your while, of course. Of course.
By
I
returning
think-
it to where you stole it from?
Well, I
It's
believe she is in Hardingshire.
That is not an answer to the question.
What was the question again?
Unbelievable. Are you returning this item that you pilfered to begin with? Or are you just upset that you have been repaid by the universe?
We'll go with all of the above, I guess.
Hey, Sav, would you like him to beg?
I would actually, Stammond.
Well, I think we could help you if we got the right amount of butt kissery. Considering what you did and all, you know. What you got?
Well, I do not excel, of course, in butt kissery. Well, I guess some would say I do. Well, I apologize for the stealing of the Sanquine core from the gentleman over there and his dwarven wife, and of course, absconding with it and trying to sell it, and
Can I
other
tell if
things
he's?
like that.
Can I tell if
insight
he's
check
being
his
sincere?
Apology? Yeah, I'll insight check his apology and his story.
Is that both of us then rolling? for
Insight,
that?
yeah. Give an insight roll.
Oh, that's a natural 20 again. That's two in the same
Oh.
show. That's a 21 total.
Oh, I
Wow.
can't wait till the combat when you're rolling once.
I know, right?
And that insight for me is a 22.
Oh, dang.
Yeah.
He is being earnest. He is he does regret the whole endeavor, but whether he regrets the whole endeavor because of what happened and the consequences he's paid, or because he is he regrets it because he thinks it's the right thing and he's he's turning a new leaf. You're not quite sure, but you do, because of the natural 20, you do know that he was absolutely telling the truth about returning the lady's money and not taking payment for the stolen merchandise. So
Okay.
he
I
is
think
earnest in all of these ways.
the other thing I'm looking for is there any intent to repeat this in some way as a trap or whatnot?
No, I don't. I think he just wants mainly to whatever curse that he's been befallen to be
To
taken
turn things
away.
around?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
You don't think that he's has machinations of stealing it again,
Okay.
but it is Etsa Morai. So
I imagine Sav and I both have this immediate instinct to see if he's telling the truth. And then I would say we kind of look around him at each other to like share notes visually. At least I look around at Sav and just see kind of like, hey.
And then
Yeah, like,
Valenrii,
I'm peeking at him from the same way, like,
Valenrii, you know the power of this core, and you also know
I've already
that,
made my mind up.
Yeah, you also know that someone who doesn't understand the power of this fusel core might befall something bad if you don't recover it from them. So Etsa aside, you might be taking a trip to Hardingshire.
Sounds like we
I'm
got our
coming
mission,
down
boys.
Up to his face and says, I am not helping you, but with or without their help, I will help the world. That is what you have put at stake.
Understandable.
That was the door.
Understandable.
And if you pull any funny business, well, I think you probably get not just one shot in the back, but probably two. Just my guess.
I fiddle my second fusel. Perhaps.
Maybe three. Maybe three it is.
Might even give him the special treatment.
Oh, well,
The
I'd like to see that.
understandable.
All right, Etsa. We're yours.
for now.
Thank you, gentlemen. You are both scholars and honorable men.
That is the rudest thing anyone's ever said to me.
Shoot him now.
But they both seem to be more honorable than you.
Well, yes, that's probably accurate.
So you know that you need to get to Hardingshire, and I'm gonna go ahead and switch maps so that we can see where that's at. So Hardingshire is basically the next town to the west from Darkenhaven, along the cliffront road that kind of looks over Dark Silver Bay. Right at that kind of break where you can either go north on Old Bay Road or west to Hardingshire, there is a ranch where you can get some horses. And two of these, the two women who run this ranch, kind of owe you guys a debt from episode 6. I will not say any more because this is pre-recorded and you haven't played episode 6 yet. So they owe you.
We're imagining.
they owe you a debt.
They are
of some
going
sort.
to have owned you a year.
They will have owed us a debt.
Right, exactly. So
Better not muck up episode 6.
so you decide to visit the Strange Range Ranch and visit the sisters Sasha and Samaria to get some horses so that it's not such a long journey from Darkenhaven to Hardingshire. You're looking at about 30 miles, which if you have horses, It would be one long day, or you could stop and make it 2 days. Or run the horses really hard and make it one day. So you go to the Strange Range Ranch, which is, like I said, right at that basically on the southern side of that road. And as you get there, you're met by Sasha, while Samaria is tending to some horses in a little pen that they have set up. The sisters are half wood elf, half drow. They have dark green, light green, brown, and black in kind of a camouflage-like patchwork on their skin. The brown on one is black on the other, and vice versa for these two women. They are twin sisters. They have long black hair, which is kept short, bright purple eyes, large bat-like ears, and long thin tails with black tufts at the end. And immediately you know them as blood-touched individuals, and they have these this ranch that they do. You also know that Dinhin is their brother, who runs the Darkenhaven stables. And as you walk up, Sasha says, "Oh, Stam, it is so nice to see you. Come. What, have you come to do a day ride with us? We're just getting the horses fed. We'd love to show you the cliff trail."
Well, we ain't here for a pleasure ride. We need to procure some horses. We're heading out to Hardinshire today.
Oh, well, of course.
We could stay for food. Yeah, we'd
well,
love to.
Well, sure. We have some leftover. It's at this point, it's like mid-morning. We have some leftover breakfast and some rolls and some jam that we could share with you, of course. And of course, it is, as long as you bring the stock back, we won't charge you for their rental nor a deposit.
Very kind of you. Appreciate that.
I mean, you did save our lives. So
well, yeah, that's what at least we could do. Plus, you let us, unleash some havoc on some.
Well, that was a scary event, very scary event.
Etsa steps up and introduces himself to the ladies. Greetings and salutations, ladies.
Oh, well, it is nice to meet you, Etsa. Samaria, come, Stam is here, and he's brought his friend Etsa.
He awkwardly kisses her on the hand, in a manner that seems strange and awkward.
What?
Were neither Valenrii and Savinor there for episode 6?
Who's playing Sunday?
I'm just going to introduce them.
I think you're the only one playing today
me.
and Sunday. Yes.
All right. Well, I'll introduce them, the two of them then. Yeah, here's my associates. In Savinor.
And nice to meet you in Savinor, and
Valenrii.
And nice
Valenrii.
to meet you, Valenrii. And
Pleasure.
These about the awkward kiss on the hand, you don't imagine that Sasha gets much attention, because she lets out a little giggle when you kiss her on the hand, and feels very flirted with, and doesn't not only are these sisters blood touch, but their blood touch is so apparent that they probably are each other's platonic partners in life, because of the fact that they don't get a lot of suitors. But they have this wonderful ranch, and they have about a dozen horses that they rent out. What did you say?
I want to take her hand. I take her hand and press digitate it, and I look at it. You weren't wearing any rings, were you?
No.
All right. Just occupational hazard. I'm sorry. And I clean her hand off the prestidigitation.
All right.
What are you doing, Sav?
I'm just making sure that everything's on the up and up here. And I
Etsa raises his
a
hands.
side glance at Etsa.
It gives a simple smile.
I see. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Oh, oh. Well,
Yeah,
no,
okay. No.
I have no rings. Etsa's quite the gentleman. I don't know why you second guess him. And I feel that there might be some history between you, but at any rate, come in. Let us have some rolls and jam, and I might even have some rations for you to take with
Biscuits
you.
and gravy would be wonderful. I don't know if you got that.
I can make some gravy. Yeah, well, and she actually goes in and basically starts impromptu cooking a second breakfast for you all. And Samaria kind of entertains you with talk of, you know, the what happened in episode 6. But the breakfast is not all that great. And then they offer some you know, sandwiches and fruit for your journey, so you can stop and have lunch on your way to Hardingshire. And then as well, Samaria says, you know, as you go, don't forget, check out those new statues dedicated to the travelers. A great and secretive artisan has been carving masterpieces along the road to Hardingshire. Apparently, I've seen them on one of our day rides, and they're magnificent.
I'm sure
Is
we'll
it just
take the
one
time to have
artisan?
We don't know. They don't put a maker's mark on the statues. They've just been crafting some wonderful statues dedicated to the travelers coming to Darkenhaven.
I guess we'll have to take a look.
All right. Well, if you stay too long, you'll probably not make it to Hardingshire by the end of the day. I don't mean to rush you away, but if you've got urgent business there, perhaps you should get going, and we'll see you maybe tomorrow or the next with the horses back. And like we said, there is no fee for renting these, and we owe you our lives, Stam, and thank you so much.
Thank you kindly, ladies. Pleasure to see you again.
All right.
Thank you for your
Thank you,
hospitality.
ladies.
I think we'll head off.
So you head off towards Hardingshire, and you ride for, you know, about half of the day. Couple of caravans have come by with maybe a couple of wagons here and there, and merchants with coming to Darkenhaven. This is not a well-traveled road, but it is especially this time of year, it's warmed up. The trade is kind of going more and more. So you do, you know, in half a day, you probably saw 3, maybe 4 different wagons or wagon trains coming to Darkenhaven as you go down the road. And they all, you know, well met and keep on going.
You see any of these statues?
So as you're about halfway through the day, you're thinking, that breakfast was I didn't eat very much of it because it was not very good, and you're starting to get a little bit hungry. So you come to a little kind of a road clearing off to the side, and let me show this. And I'll zoom out. So you come to this little clearing, and there are 3 statues in this little clearing off to the road, and it's the artisanship is magnificent. They are very well crafted statues, and they look like a merchant and perhaps an apprentice and and maybe even a soldier or bodyguard or mercenary that they've got along with them, and that's what it looks like, sitting together enjoying a meal, or, you know, kind of carved as if they're enjoying a meal.
With my sort of dwarven memories unlocked, I'm going to go right up to these and just marvel at the craftsmanship of them.
All right.
I'm trying to look for, you know, tool markings, see how they've done whatever they've done to make these.
And we'll just say that you guys, you tied your horses up maybe over here, and then came over and started, kind of marveling with these, getting your sandwiches out, starting to have your lunch, and then you hear a whinny from one of the horses,
All right.
and you
Look
look
over.
back, and the horse is turned to stone.
Gentlemen, I don't think it's a craftsman making these statues. Point to
Initiative.
What?
and at this point, we'll take a break and base and show some ads and stuff, and come back in a moment. All right. Do we need to actually take a break? Or are we good to go?
I'm
need to
okay for the
usually-
moment.
All right.
I'm all right personally.
Seeing maps and line of sight with the
All right,
characters
and we're
moving
back.
is a
The
game
group
changer,
had-
literally.
The mind-blowing tech that's built into it, not having to use proprietary things, is great because you can have a 3D printer, you can make your own stuff, you can bring your own things to it, and you can still use it with all the stuff you have at home already, but make it even better.
I've literally tried something with this with just like a TV flat with my computer plugged in, and it was just like such a hassle hiding the map. You just look at this and it's there. It's very awesome.
tied to the tree, and one of them has been turned to stone.
Um,
Aren't you lucky you
do you
didn't
think
make
we
a
should perhaps
deposit
do
on
something
those?
about this?
What was that?
Do you think we should maybe do something about that?
Yeah, I think we're
I
gonna
have
have.
no idea
I think
what
we're
this
gonna
is,
have a
but-
problem real soon if we don't.
Uh-huh.
Have I heard of this type of creature before?
You have not. You have heard that there are some creatures who are the creatures who have weird corruptive abilities such as this, but you haven't heard of this exact creature. Oops.
Well, I suspect the first step would be killing it. I
I love that plan.
do not know if there's going to be anything we can do to help these people, I guess, and the horse.
There we go. And let me roll initiative. In Savanor, you are up first as this.
All right, so I kind of peek around the tree to see that giant lizard, and I just still, while watching it, I kind of like put my hand backwards and just say, "Leon, guide their hands," and I cast bless while still peeking around the tree. I cast bless on myself, Stammond, and Valenrii.
Carefully chosen. I
Thank you.
like it.
And that is my and I stay right there.
Stay right
That's
there.
my turn.
All right. It goes next. It will kind of walk up here, look around a little bit, see you all, and then Valenrii, give me a Constitution saving throw, please.
Ooh, that's an 8.
It's an 8. All right.
That is an
so
8.
You start to feel your body becoming sluggish, and you are restrained at this point. At the end of your turn, you'll get another save.
What do the rest of us see?
You see him starting, well, and he can see it in his own. He's basically starting to turn to stone.
What does the lizard do?
The lizard is just gazing at him and licking and flicking its
So it's
tongue.
kind of locked in on Valenrii with its gaze.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
Let's see. It's not my turn. I'm gonna do nothing yet.
That's
I
it's
want
your
to do
turn.
something so badly. All right.
Etsa will move towards the cluster of stone figures and pretend to be a stone figure.
Oh my god!
All right, give me a deception roll.
Oh my gosh, that is creative.
Cool. What is deception? Which one is that?
Deception. It's under your skills. It's based on charisma.
Cool. So no bonuses, of course. Let's see. So that is that's a 12.
All right. So Etsa moves in between two statues and just starts standing very still. Valenrii, your turn.
So restrained is speed 0. Do I still
Yep.
have control of my arms to pull my weapons at least?
Yes.
Okay. So in that case, I am going to just gonna pull the reforged hammer of light up. And there's a slight sort of whining noise coming from the fusel as I sort of take aim with it. I don't take a shot yet, and I'm going to do a charged shot for the next turn.
If there is a next turn, give me.
If there is a next turn.
Give me your Constitution save at the end of your turn.
And you do have bless.
Yes, that's plus.
You have
plus
bless.
1d4,
Yeah,
right?
That wouldn't be useful.
Yeah, plus D4.
$19.
Ah,
Not too bad.
okay, so you kind of shake this stuff off. This restrained feeling goes away. You're able to overcome this basilisk stare, and there will be a next turn for you. That isn't frozen in stone, holding a fusel that is currently charging.
It's about to have a bad day.
Yeah, you hear this whine get louder and louder, round after round.
If only.
All right, Stammond, your turn.
All right. I am going to move. I think I'm going to move forward and kind of around the trunk of the tree to there.
Okay.
And I should be within fusel range then at that point. Yeah, just within fusel range. All right. And I am going to I noticed these guys kind of struggling with the eyes of this creature, and I am going to kind of be looking at its feet as I aim just above its feet for a shot.
Okay.
That's an 18 to hit.
That hits.
All right. Damage will be 6 damage.
6 damage as you hit it in one of its 6 legs, and high up on the leg, like basically the shoulder or hip part of the leg.
I'm gonna pull out a dagger and throw that with my offhand. And that's going to be a 15 to hit.
That also hits.
And that's going to be 6 damage.
All right.
Take that, you stupid beast.
All right. That's the final round. In Savanor, you are first again.
All right. So from remembering last time, I immediately looked to see where Etsa is.
you see him standing very still.
And then I look back at the beast, and then after seeing like kind of the reaction from Valenrii, and then what the beast was staring at him, I aim for the eyes with a magic missile.
Oh, dang.
That is a... That's 11 points of force damage from the 3 missiles.
All right, so the missiles go flying at him, or at it. I guess you don't know the gender of the basilisk. It goes flying at the basilisks, and the first one does hit it like right above one of its eyes, and it starts shaking, and then the next one hits it, and the next one hits it. So it doesn't seem to be blinded, but it also doesn't seem to be trying to gaze at anyone this round. Because it's
and that is my turn.
Shaking its head around. Valenrii.
Okay. So, as the fusel is still charging, I'm going to pull out my second fusel. First shot's going to be the Hammer of Light. That's the one that's charging, so that's advantage. Ooh, that'll be a 19 plus. So 26.
That hits.
2d4. 10 piercing damage.
Okay.
And then I will 2-weapon attack. 10. That's a no.
That's a no. No, 10 does not hit.
I am then
Could you
going
use bless?
to wander up to Etsa and slap him in the face. Get in a fight, you idiot.
Etsa, your turn.
Etsa will
You need a
instead
dagger?
cower down and disguise self to look like a statue.
Guys, the worst.
No argument. No argument.
Can I shoot him yet?
Can I hit you?
Etsa is not a fighter.
All right.
You're a lover, clearly.
Yeah, I don't think he's a
Exactly.
lover either.
So the basilisk, after being hit all over the face by these bolts of force coming from Ensavanor, then rushes up to Ensavanor, and begins to try and bite him. And I start out with a 20 on the die, everyone.
Ooh.
Unbelievable.
Etsa might need to get in the fight here.
Wait.
So that is 11 damage, and give me a Constitution saving throw, please.
Oh no. Plus.
Get your bless.
That is a 16.
All right, then you don't take the extra poison damage from the bite. You are just take 11 damage, please.
Hooray!
Only 11. All right, Stammond. The basilisk is now on the other side of the trunk of this big tree, biting Ensavanor.
Is the trunk between us?
I mean, you can, step around
can
it.
Lean around?
It's a big beast on the other side of the trunk.
Sure. All right. I think I'm just going to repeat my action from last round. Well, first thing I'm going to say is, nice shot, Valenrii. And then I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to make a nice shot. Hopefully. That's an 18.
That hits.
All right. Just need better than a 1 on the die this time. Oh, yeah, that'll do. All right. That's 11 points of damage with the fusel.
Okay.
Put a hole in that thing. Ooh. All right. And I'm going to pull out another dagger and throw that with my offhand. That's a 21.
Also hits.
Okay.
Lighten this thing up.
Yep. And then 6 damage on that.
Right. That's the round. Initiative. Etsa, you are first.
Of course he is.
Ooh.
Hey, I'm not last.
Etsa will, even though he looks like a statue, will pull out a bag of marbles and pull this almost frosted-looking bluish-white marble and hold it in his hand and wait for the creature to get within 60 feet of him.
Oh, he's within 60 now.
Oh, he is.
Yeah, he's within 60 now. He's probably about 45 away from you.
Okay.
Nope,
he
20,
will-
25 away from you.
Okay. Well, if that's the case, then I will make a ranged spell attack. Let's see. Sweet. That's a dirty 19, or not dirty 19. That's a 19.
Yep.
So he is casting Ray of Frost. It's doing 1d8 cold damage. Let's see. That's a 6. So it takes 6 cold damage.
All right. It's beginning to look a little weather beaten. Stammond.
All right. Well, if it doesn't like weather, let's add a little more. All right. I am going to holster my pistol. I'm going to come around the tree. Hold on. I'm in wrong mode. All right. There we go. I'm going to come around the tree behind it. And I'm going to pull my cutlass out with one hand, but then I'm going to reach out with my other hand and do shocking grasp on it. So I think I need to make contact, right?
Yes. Unless you're in Savanor and can do that through through his hand, his mystical hand.
That is a 14 to hit.
A 14.
Did you have bless?
I did.
Okay.
That will actually still touch it.
Oh, good. All right. Then let's throw a little bit of electricity, Scarecrow. It's a 2. 2 damage, but then I'm going to stab it with the cutlass on the offhand. I'm going to shank it. Oh, that's a 26 to hit.
Yes.
And 9 damage? 9 damage. And then I'm going to look at Savanor and say, hey, back away. Because I know that it can't take a reaction after being hit with the shocking grasp.
Right. Okay. In Savanor.
All right. You're using tactics, Stammond. I'm impressed. And then I reach next to my temple and I start pulling, and this vibrant pink energy swirling, looks like a cutlass that Stammond is holding, and I stab the thing, and it's my mind sliver. It has to make a DC 15 intelligence save.
Okay. That is a -2. When you add the numbers together.
I guess it doesn't have a mind.
That is 4 points of psychic damage, and the next saving throw it has to make a D4, subtracting from its saving throw.
Okay.
And I take Stammond's advice. I move. Oh, I'm moving 3 characters. 5. All right, I move this way, away from it, and I cast Healing Word on myself. My bonus action. All right, that's it. And that is my entire turn, sir.
All right. The very hurt basilisk, as you back away, turns its full attention to Stam, and Stam, you kind of got the idea about the eyes and the gazing. So, give me a fort save at advantage as you try not to look at it, as it
All right. thank
roars real loud at you and uses that gaze.
you. I think that's a 16.
You are fine. Now it tries to bite
Yeah,
you.
16.
That is a 18 to hit.
Yeah, that hits.
All right, that is 6 points, and give me another con save.
Is this just a normal con save?
Yep.
Oh, but I do get the bless.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a 19.
All right, no poison, so just the 6 points from the bite. And that is its turn. Valenrii.
Ooh, I was going to do something. That spellcasting's terrible.
I do think this group of statues here with the merchant and his apprentice and a guard would have benefited from a fusilier holding a fusil pointing down the road. That would have added some artistic flair, I think.
Indeed. However, what I am going to do is add to the artistic flair of a dagger in Etsa's hand, just to encourage him to, do something a little bit more.
And that's how you stab in the back.
Seeing that Savinor is sort of out of sort of combat range with the thing, I'm actually going to come in and sort of try and lock it in, knowing that I'm probably better suited to be in close than he is. And I've still got bless, haven't I?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay, so I'm going to 2-weapon fight again. Hammer of Light first with bless. Be dirty 20
That hits.
for 12 points of piercing damage.
All right. Describe how you defeat this basilisk. It is.
Ah, man, I wanted to kill it.
Okay, having realised finally that the eyes are sort of the issue with this guy, I'm gonna, with my offhand, still with holding the fusel, sort of try and get an arm round its head, yank it down a little bit. Not that I managed to do, because I'm not overly strong. Rather than actually aim into the eyes, I'm just going to aim past the eyes so that the flash of the fusel bolt would try and sear them, and sort of aim in between the two with it. And then I'm about to follow up with the second one, realising all of a sudden that, oh, hang on. Guys, I think we dealt with it.
Nice
I was
work.
planning on using another one, but
It falls to the ground and is this huge 6-legged weird beast thing, and you're standing there with a bunch of statues, and a statue of a horse now has been added to the collection.
All right, I go over
thank
to
God.
Valenrii and I put up my arm and I say, "Nice fighting alongside you.
you are a good shot, sir.
Likewise. Sav, I
Didn't
looked over at
show
Sav.
earlier,
I said, I said we worked real well together. That bless was on point, and the missiles and all that. I loved your work there. And then I look over at Etsa. Nice marbles, or whatever that was you did.
I think he appears to have lost a few.
It would have been nice if you brought us an actual sack of balls to this fight.
Well, we do what we can.
You
Onwards
did
and upwards.
nothing.
I will happily have my dagger
Nothing.
back now, though, unless you want to keep it to fight in the future with enemies, not with us.
Don't let him keep that dagger. You don't want to end up with holes in your posterior.
Kidneys. No,
and
no.
there's quite an ornate hand that appears illusory, just sort of above the dagger. It's like, perhaps not the best idea. Just pluck the dagger out of your grip. Mage hand.
No, the dagger was just sitting on the ground next to him.
Yeah.
He didn't pick it up.
I think he actually let it fall from his hand. I believe I placed it into his statued hand.
Nice. I guess we retrieve our weapons and clean up. Is there anything on this thing worth retrieving? Like, I mean, are the eyes worth something to wizards or anything?
Give me an Arcana check. Anybody who has Arcana.
Right. Plenty of that.
Why? Nat
Actually
20.
do.
Nat 20. There's a crit. Yes, basilisk eyes. There's actually 4 of them. They basically have eyes here and eyes here, giving them almost like a 180 degree.
Oh, okay. All right.
Uh,
A
so there's
wide field of vision.
The division.
wide field of vision, and those are worth something to as spell components. The venom sacs in it are worth something maybe to those who like to make poisons, alchemists, and those who like to use poisons or make poisons, assassins maybe. And then there's a good 350 400 pounds of meat here. Basilisk meat tastes like chicken.
Well, I guess we could fry it.
Set up shop here, fried basilisk. Right, all the merchants going to Darkenhaven. Here you go, basilisk jerky from the wagon.
Yeah,
Is
and
there
we're known for our
anything-
statues.
All right.
Lifelike.
It's just checking to see how heavy the statues are.
They're very heavy. I mean, they're basically the size of people, life-size statues. So I don't know, maybe 900 pounds, 800 pounds per statue.
Whilst I'm
That's
sort of
big.
examining the basilisk, I'm just going to go over to Savanor and just sort of ask, is there anything you can do to help these people?
Yeah, I'm attempting to try
You're
to
the
figure
best
that out
equipped.
now. Is there anything I
Seem
can
a
gather from the
shame.
eyes to do anything about these statues?
So you may be, if you could get these statues to the God's Ward, some priest might be able to help. Some clerics or somebody in the God's Ward of powerful enough magic might be able to turn them back into flesh.
I look over at the horse. Oops.
Aren't you glad you didn't pay a deposit?
No.
We are gonna owe them an apology. I got an idea. What if we give them all of the basilisk parts that are worth something in compensation? I guess
Would
I'll
seem fair.
retrieve the eyes and the glands and
Okay.
bundle them up.
Perhaps it would be worth mentioning this to somebody in the Godswood.
Yeah.
Rather than trying to get these back there, they may be able to.
Yeah, send someone out with a wagon.
Hmm.
And a really
What?
big wagon for the horse.
We
And,
might
and
keep one eye, Stammond, just for clinical
You want an eye?
studies.
You want an
Just
eye?
one.
All right, you've earned it.
My appreciation.
you may also be able to, because this road is being traveled, you may be able to find somebody that you might be able to hire in Hardingshire that might be going to Darkenhaven in any way to bring an extra wagon. You might be able to,
Take them on the
to
way.
do that on your way back. I mean, these have all obviously been sitting here for a little while, so they might be just fine.
Do you think they're going to be going anywhere?
I don't think they're going to be going anywhere, and the horse is definitely not going to be going anywhere. Which leaves you with only 3 horses. So how's that going to work for the second half of the day's travel?
Well, 3 of us have earned something.
You look over and you see Etsa is already on one of your horses.
You
Why
becoming a
don't you
horse
just
thief now
trot
as well?
along? Can't you just trot along? Like, aren't you like one of your people? Aren't you an ass? Donkeys can ride all day.
Well, of course, I mean, I need to be, fit and well when we arrive, so I can help us to find the witch who cursed me.
Find the witch who
Etsa, give me a
poisoned you.
wisdom save, please.
What is happening to that fella?
That's a 22.
All right. You feel that pull take over you again. You're about to get off the horse and offer it to Ed and then you're like, no, I'm staying on the horse, and you are able to overcome the curse.
So do we see this conflict taking
Yes,
place?
you
Yeah.
see him like, and then he goes,
Oh.
"I have to stay here and be ready."
Are you in a battle of wits between your greed and your conscience?
No, maybe no. No.
Nothing but from his house is nothing but lies.
Practically speaking, it would make more sense for his hands to be occupied by reins than behind somebody.
You can always tie them up and pull him behind the horse.
Hmm.
He just has to get there. It doesn't have to be in one piece exactly.
I mean, and Savinor is basically air anyway, so he won't weigh either one of us down.
That's also correct.
Well,
So I
Decisions
guess
is made.
in Savinor
Ride double?
rides double with one of you two.
I'll ride with Valenrii because I want to ask him some questions.
All right, so
Yeah.
you're riding with you're riding with Valenrii, and your second half of the journey as you ride, and you do pass some other wagons coming towards Darkenhaven.
perhaps we should
Are
ask
they?
them if they could.
Yeah, I was just thinking that.
What's that?
So I heard Valenrii, and I was just thinking the same thing.
Hmm.
Ask them
Look
if the
after
wagons
you.
are empty and if they could take
Yeah,
the statues.
yeah,
back to the God's Lord.
they are not empty. They're kind of loaded, ready for trade in Darkenhaven. And they say, why would we steal the statues? They're such magnificent. We were here earlier last week. They're perfect. And one of them actually reminds me of a merchant I dealt with about 2
Yeah,
years ago.
because it is that merchant. Did you see the dead lizard there?
A
yeah.
dead lizard is there. This is long after you've already left. You're like on your
Yeah.
second
Well,
half
when
of
you
it.
go by, you'll see the dead lizard, and that's the thing that turned everybody to stone. There's a dead horse there too. Anybody go around carving horses you know of?
Well,
No.
I know.
It turned them to stone.
I know
It
an
turned them to
artist.
stone.
I know an artist that specializes in beasts that is in Riverside. She paints all manner of beasts. And but at any
No,
rate,
we met her. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, she's a genius. We love her.
Anyway,
She's supposed to make us a sign that says "Toad-faced Maroon."
Toad-faced Maroon. That's right. All right. So, all right. Well, we'll check it out, and you know they head along their way. Anything else along the journey that you said you wanted to talk to Valenrii and Savinor?
Yes. So, my friend, if you don't mind me asking, I am quite inquisitive on your genetic makeup. What is
My
it like
genetic
being
what?
you? What is it like being you, exactly?
Strange.
You
There
assume
is-
he means Scundrews, not.
I got that.
Yeah, Scundrews,
It
not
is-
scumbag like the guy in the back.
Before our previous encounter, I was just me, Valenrii. That was all I knew. I was my own being. But after you helped me find Thonia, there is a conflict between, it may sound strange, but myself and myself. There are two selves now. There's me, Valenrii, and there is my previous dwarven life. Thankfully, I am not overly different. I was when I was first born into this body, if you could call it that. But through the time I have spent in it, I have changed my viewpoint on my kind, so that I'm a little more allied with my previous morality, I suppose. But I have heard of harsher awakenings amongst those of my kind. Those who have two very different beliefs. One that has been instilled in them, I suppose, by the Grey Mothers, and one that, when they awakened, was at complete odds with that. I confess Thonia and I are trying to find... We're not entirely certain what we're trying to find. We have heard tales of some Skandrus who believe that there are different ways to create our kind. More truthful ways. We have heard tell of Diana, the life giver, having blessed some. There are whispers of one called Vizri, who may have been the first blessed by Diana. It is hard to find out anything, unfortunately. But I'll sort of pull out the fusel, examine it a bit more closely. The markings that we placed on this reforged version of the Hammer of Light are akin to something of the tale. The Skandrus ourselves were creations of Maleuthuk, you likely found out. And he is almost the opposite of Viana, the life giver. The item we seek, I believe to have been, if not created by, then blessed by Maleuthuk himself. Is why I seek to recover it. Because I believe that it may be why I am Skandrus, my use of it. And we are hoping that by imparting Viana into this weapon, it might temper that somewhat. But it is time for me to lay down my arms. But for me to do that, I need to find more of my kind that do not follow the Grey Mothers.
And do you believe
That is
your
not
time
the
to
way.
lay down your arms is you speaking or you speaking to such an effect?
I think it is both. I don't think there is a me anymore. Not with the awakening and the time I've spent with Thonia. I am one being. I just lived two lives, or have lived two lives. When I first awoke, I suppose, yes, it was perhaps more the rest of the weary from having spent a lifetime as my dwarven self. But when I look back on my Skandru's life as well, it has been marred with conflict and seeking out an item that I do not wish to wield anymore.
Well, seems a shame to me to lay down your arms when you got such skill with them. But if you need a good home, I know how to take care of a fusel or two.
The thought had occurred.
And we do have plenty of space for you. You seem to be one of us.
That is very kind and generous of you, but perhaps in the future, I think there is another adventure ahead for me yet. And to you, Stammond, there comes a time for every warrior to lay down his weapons, or else he will surely die by them.
Well, I hear that. There's some wisdom there.
I just haven't found my reason to fully lay them down.
And if you need help with your quest or whatever it is you're going to do, you let us know because, I mean, we're helping people that have betrayed us. So there's no reason we wouldn't help a friend.
Absolutely.
Indeed, and perhaps I may take you up on that yet.
And if you need to sell your fusel, or boringly reason,
He will seek
I will give you
services
very-
elsewhere.
I'm going
Keep
to
an
take
extra.
out a copper piece from my coin pouch and just throw it right at his head.
He snatches it right out of the air.
That's it. Give me a wisdom save.
Yeah, I'd keep an eye on those fusils there, Valenrii.
One is nothing special. The other,
So I rolled another
Well.
22.
All right,
Give
you
me-
pocket the copper. You get to keep that one.
But
This
you
one
see him
is not yet
struggling
complete.
hard to put it in his pocket.
this, as I say, this one is not yet complete. There is something missing from it. I would not give it to anyone. until it's complete.
So, for the audience's benefit, and especially for those who did not see episode 5, Valenrii is a Skundruz, which is a beings who the god Malithuk created these vessels, these kind of bodies that couldn't really reproduce on their own, and he's the god of the dead. So, at the bridge of the dead, he was basically capturing souls on their way to the afterlife and throwing them into these bodies because he was forbidden to make his own race like some of the other gods were. And so that's where the beginnings of the Skundruz came from. And since then they have built their own society, and they've found ways because the other gods figured out that this is what Malithuk was doing and basically intervened so that he could quit stealing souls. But the Skundruz themselves came up with a way to basically capture, as the dwarven predecessor to Valenrii was waylaid in in the Gloomport, and then shuttled off to Shardengloom as a prisoner, and as a way for the Grey Ladies who ran the Grey Mothers who ran Shardengloom's reproductive type cults would sacrifice these people, much like you may have seen or started to see. I mean, the party intervened in episode 5 to keep this from happening, but this sacrificial ritual would imbue a pregnant mother with the soul needed to give life to that new Skundruz. And in most cases, they don't remember who they were before becoming Skundruz. And so to finish the tale, which you've heard from Valenrii, he has now reconnected some of those memories of his dwarven self, met his dwarven wife, and is trying to find a group of these Skundruz who actually worship the god Viana, the life giver, who also had some hand in the history of the Skundruz, but that is a tale for another telling. So I'll let that be. But just a little segue there for those watching that don't know what a Skundruz is and didn't get to watch episode 5.
Well,
All
that
right,
was more than I knew, so thank you.
So yeah, that's as you continue there, you see a couple of other merchants. One of them, as you're getting really close to Hardenshire, one of them recognizes Etsa and kind of pulls up his he's on a horse and he's got a mule packed with stuff. He doesn't even have a wagon, and he pulls up next. Oh, Etsa! Ah, it's nice to see you. I was actually going to bring some things to your shop there in Giddens Way. You would save me a trip if I could just sell you the wares here.
I'm unfortunately busy with another endeavor at this time. If you could continue on dropping off those wares to my old shop, that would be most appreciated.
No.
Yes.
We have plenty of time to see exactly what he's selling you. By all means, sir, conduct your business.
Unfortunately, at this time, I'm a bit short on liquidity. I have a lot of different things moving and taking place at this moment. But my partner will certainly take care of of you once you've made your way to Darkhaven, of course.
All right. Well, I see. It's not smart to travel with a lot of money, and I guess we will. I can do some deals there, but will he be as And he looks to the rest of the group that's around you that he doesn't know. Will he also be as
Discreet?
discreet? Yes, as you are in some of these wares.
He will be. He will be.
Okay, good.
Certainly.
My good sir, we are carrying funds here. Exactly how much were you looking for? Perhaps we can just do your deal here, and then you can move on your way.
No, I don't want to,
Don't mind
muddy
him.
up the
I'm
waters.
to you, sir.
Oh well, I was looking. First of all, Etsa, he does well by me with some of my wares, and as he says, he does well by me. He also kind of is looking over his shoulder, back down the road. So to be rid of these wares in short time would be preferable. If my friend
We don't
Etsa
want
here-
this crap.
If my friend Etsa doesn't want business, then perhaps, what is your name, sir?
It is N. Savanor.
In Savanor. Well, there's a lot of good stuff, and he starts pulling out like jewelry.
El Salvador would not really care for these
some
wares.
other-
Now, see, I
Really.
agree with that. And Savnor, I don't think you want this stuff. Did you see that look? He's got somebody chasing him for this stuff. He's in the same business as Etsa.
No,
Clearly.
of course
No,
not. No. This is all above board here, and yours for an easy 50 golds. Look at this. This necklace is worth 50 golds by itself.
Stammond, the last time Etsa made off with wares, we are now dealing with repercussions again. So I'd like to kind of stamp out that misery in future references. So what wares exactly? Just these minor trinkets you have here?
I should note that was a relic that is of great import and power.
Yes, this relic here, said to be ethernic in nature.
I just look at
Pathetic.
Valenrii. I'm just like, Valenrii, you buy any of this?
Can I? He sort of glances over at the artifact, almost as if he's trying to inspect it. It's like, just no.
No.
My
50
friend,
golds for all these
If it was a
saddlebags.
true
I'm
artifact-
keeping the mule, of course. You'll have to put the saddlebags on your own horses. The mule is
You must
And-
be something of a bad merchant to be making so little money off so much.
Oh, but I'm
Correct.
saving myself a trip.
Mm-hmm.
A trip to jail, would you say?
2 days trip
Or the morgue.
is not that much.
I slide of hand him the copper coin that I got from Valenrii and whisper over to him, just keep heading to Darkhaven. We'll conclude our business there.
I think you are right. And he says, well, it's been nice meeting you all, and take good care of my good friend Etsa. And he starts furthering himself down towards Darkenhaven.
We'll give him all the care that he deserves.
As he
And I yell
passes,
back at
you
him. We'll make sure to take care of him, of course, and we'll sure to make remember of you. And I like open my shirt a little bit and show the badge, the magistrate badge that I made.
Don't let the guard
We'll
catch
keep you
with
in
your
our
trousers
fond
down.
memories.
All right, and he leaves, and then shortly after that encounter with the traveling fence, you get to Hardingshire, and there are five guards on horseback leaving Hardingshire, and they pull up reins as you can see Hardingshire, about a football field away, 100 yards or so, and have you all seen? And they described the merchant that you just saw. Wispy hair, pulling a mule.
That's the guy.
Yes,
He went
directly
that
down the
way.
road.
Yep.
He's carrying
Towards
lots of
Darkenhaven?
wares on him. Yes.
All right, and they take off after him.
I guess they didn't want you, Etsa.
Perhaps we have waylaid him enough for them to catch him.
We could help.
All right, so you make your way into Hardingshire, and Etsa, you know that the person you were looking for, you had dinner at the Fancy Downs Tavern in Hardingshire.
Indeed. We should make our way to this particular tavern because this is where she seemed to reside and do her business. Yes.
Do you know her
Evil,
name?
vile wench that cursed you. That's what you mean.
Yes. Yes. Etsa also casts disguise self so that he doesn't look like Etsa anymore. He looks like just like an average human wearing a cloak, nondescript.
Right.
I'm starting to see how your skill set works together, Etsa.
Well, thank you.
It wasn't a compliment.
Definitely was not a compliment.
He takes it as one anyway.
So Etsa, you kind of point out Fancy Downs Tavern to everybody, and the proprietor of the Fancy Downs Tavern is who it was that bought the Sanguine Touch from you.
Yep.
And as you guys walk up to the Fancy Downs Tavern, it's very well decorated. You would assume that most people couldn't afford the libations here just because of the decorations. And as you open up, you see that there are fabric seats, artistic wall hangings. It's a very well put together bar, but there are your farmers and your travelers and everybody here. And behind the bar is a joyful looking half elf, and she's often spinning a fusel with one hand and pouring an ale with the other. And as you come in, she's like, "Well, hello everyone. Come. Fancy Downs is here for all. Can I get you something to drink?"
I go right over. I take a look at her fusel and I say, yeah, some kind of whiskey, whatever you got.
And she holsters it, grabs a bottle, pours you, a double shot of whiskey, and puts the bottle back, and then spins it and goes to another customer and pours an ale.
I'll sit right down next to him as well. And I'll order up a whiskey too.
As I step into the tavern, if anyone's paying attention, I go pale, even by secondary standards, and just grab a hold of sort of the door frame for a moment, as my eyes go off somewhere else, and then I stare straight at the lady behind the bar.
Name is Valenrii, and I'm happy to help anyone. And she's got like short, kind of a bob white hair. She's holding a fusel at half the time, and you don't even know if she really knows how to use it. She's just kind of spinning it around, and then being very nice to everybody who comes in.
What did
You
you,
know how
say
to
your
use
name
that?
was, ma'am?
Oh.
Valenrii is my name, and
Valenrii?
and yes, I do know how to use this. And she points it towards the door, and pulls the trigger, and it starts to charge. And then she lets off the trigger, and above the door frame, she shoots it, and you can see that now, basically, now a line of shots have hit the door frame. Where she's
Sort
like,
of
not very artistic
runs
with it
up.
yet, though.
I'm still impressed. That's a nice shot, or a set of shots.
I'm against my better judgment. Slowly going to make my way to Etsa's side. Sit down next to him.
None of you all look familiar. Is this your first time to Hardingshire?
It is,
I
my
believe
dear,
so.
it is.
Who? No. Sir, and she looks to Valenrii. Would you mind pulling down your mask? No, shh.
I would
She's
prefer
making
not
comments to.
to.
You don't know who she's talking to when she says shh.
It is my first time here, but it is not my first time near that.
Near that.
And I point to the fusel. You will want to hand that over sooner rather than later.
And why would I want to hand it over?
Take a look at it closely, particularly around the core.
Ooh.
Does it look
Oh.
how it once did?
No. It looks like this clamp here is starting to rust almost, or
If
weather
you wouldn't
or
mind
something.
handing it to one of us, please. This could go very badly very quickly. I assume you like your tavern.
Oh, yes. Well, and you know what? It didn't really cost me that much, and she talks too much anyway. And then she goes to hand it to Valenrii.
She does. I'm gonna take it and
Is
immediately
this-
release the core from it.
Is this what I think it is?
You can see the strain on Valenrii's face as he's releasing the core from this weapon, and he just manages to get out. Yes.
What do you need us to do?
My weapon. The new one. Take the core out. And I'm very much just gripping this crystal that's now it's out of the fuse. It's a very deep purple. There's sort of veins of black within it as well. And as I just sort of twist it a certain way, you catch the visage of a skull in the cuttings of the crystal. This needs to be contained. I need my weapon and I need the core out of it now. Please. Before it makes me do something I regret.
Which weapon?
Stammond, I'm sure you know how to use this. Remove cores and things of that nature.
Yeah.
The Hammer of Light, the reforged one, the one I showed you. I sort of glanced down at the holster bit.
You're asking me to take your
Yes.
fusel. All right, I'll do what he's asking.
All right, so you take the fusel, you remove, you go to remove the fusel, you kind of unclamp it, open it, and you notice that instead of where the you would normally just unclamp and pull out the flowstone, there is actually a cylinder that you have to then open, and there is a liquid kind of holding his current core in that, and that's the
Okay.
fake Xytherium stuff. So you know that that's not too stable. So you pull his core out and then kind of offer the new core casing in his old fusel to him.
Yeah.
I did
hand it
not
to
want
him.
to do this. I wanted more time to prepare for this. I have no idea if this is going to work. I would suggest we at least step outside.
All right.
Okay.
This should be doing this over far more time.
Hey, well, I think one of you should stay in here. I mean, I did say it didn't cost me very much, but I don't know if I'm being hornswoggled or not. You just take my what looks very valuable flowstone, and you're going to just walk outside with it. I mean, I was born on a day, but not yesterday.
I will stay in here, as well as my friend right here, and I point to the disguised Etsa. We will stay and keep you company, ma'am.
All right. Well, thank you, and I hope all goes well outside. And she's looking worried.
Hey, Sav, if you need help in here for some reason, just yell Boonswoggle or something, and we'll come in.
Boonswoggle.
Yeah.
I fear it is us that may need more help than him.
Sure.
All right, and we'll yell it if we need help.
I will be outside immediately.
So the two Fusiliers go outside. Two Fusiliers walk out of a bar.
How long until the guards show up?
and you basically put the Sanquine touch into the Hammer of Light.
Yep.
All right. So you put the Sanquine touch into the Hammer of Light, close the cylinder tightly around it, and then you lock it back into place. And then you hear a voice. Oh, Valenrii. Oh, well, darling, it's been a while. And I love the roominess of this one. Thanks so much, hon. Where are we going now?
If you could just shut up for once.
Woo, the mouth on you. You hear none of this.
I hear none of this. I just see him, and I hear him talking, but...
Yes.
Who are you talking to?
Sorry, she is talkative when she's combined.
Wow.
The core itself, from my research, I believe it was cut by a Skundruz. I'm sure you're aware of the dangers of doing that for anyone but a Sarth.
Right.
And it is.
Oh,
from what
darling,
I've read,
don't. It's all right. I mean, he was once a Sarth. And he was a bore
Sanquine has
anyway, darling.
mentioned, he was once a Sarth, believe it or not. But his soul was lost during the cutting. It seems to have given, well, I suspect it is that gave the core some form of sentience. And the strain that you were seeing on me earlier.
I can only
dark.
imagine. A talking gun? I mean, I've got Sav. I don't need a talking gun.
Indeed.
But Valenrii, you realize that, for the first time, that this is very stable, and the Sanquine touch is contained within the Zytherium, and you only imagine that the roominess that she was talking about is that
Helping.
and the Hammer of Light is keeping the Sanquine touch stable, and everything seems to be good as far as
to check. I'm gonna point at just like a hay bale or something that's nearby.
Hey, that's the local money. Be
not
careful of
wanted
that.
Okay. A better target than the tree, perhaps?
How about that bucket right there?
And I'm just going to loose a shot. And from the end, you can see exactly where this weapon gets its name, as the bolt that comes out looks like a hammer made of light.
Wow, that is beautiful.
And it smashes the barrel. And you hear Valenrii, yeehaw! Love that.
I'm sure you will get many more uses. Sorry, she can be a little draining with her personality sometimes.
I know exactly what you mean.
She seems happy and contained. At least for now. I feel like that. I feel we may have actually cracked it with this one. Not to be too punny. Well, I
So
think we
feel
are
it's
safe for
stable.
now.
You feel like it won't be dangerous to carry back into the tavern. The Valenrii's old fusil is still in your hand, and with very minor repairs, should be able to hold another core. Well, it could hold another core now.
Well,
But she may want to do some repairs on it.
yeah. To be honest, I would probably offer myself actually when we go back in.
All right.
You still have the core? The one that you took out?
Sure. Yeah.
I would like to at least give her that in exchange.
Seems fair.
This should not be in the hands of Cavalier feudals.
Yeah.
She is cavalier enough herself.
That's true.
No, I'm talking about the core. Sorry.
Well, I thought that gal inside was a little bit casual with her weapon.
Indeed.
But she at least seemed to know what she was doing.
Shall we rejoin your compatriots?
Yeah. All right. Yeah, we'll go back in.
All right. You go back in. You can see the relief as you come walking back in. She's like, oh, good. Well, come on, and let me get you another drink. Is all well? You don't look as worried as when you left.
The core that you came into possession of is not suited to normal fusils. It likes to break them.
Well, it's not suited to somebody with a business they're trying to run who doesn't have time for casual conversation all the time.
No. Well, I would like to offer you this core in exchange, and I will happily repair your fusel for you as well.
Sounds fair to me. Well, if there's nothing else, here's some drinks. I'm gonna go, and she does wait some tables and get some people some drinks, and
it is nice
There
to be
is
able to
one more
enjoy
thing.
one after a while.
What's that?
There's one more thing. You said it didn't cost you that much. Exactly how much, if you don't mind me asking, did it cost you exactly?
Well, to be honest, just some reagents. That's all it really cost me was some magical reagents that I had to use. You see, the guy who was bringing it to me, I was pretty certain that he didn't come by it honestly. So
You don't say.
What did he look like?
And she describes Etsa.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I used some of my reagents and some of my previous alchemical knowledge, and I made us a dinner, and sure enough, he didn't come by it honestly because he gave me my money back after the the modification that I did to his personality via the alchemical stuff I put in his food.
This is starting to sound familiar.
It's random human stranger stands up and says,
Aha, what? Who are? What?
Why
what do
don't you
mean,
drop the
aha?
disguise?
And I dropped this guy's self.
Oh, well, you deserved what you got, you thief.
Huh.
I mean, can't argue.
You look like you've been beaten recently. I'm sorry about that. Have you had a problem doing your business with this new attitude of yours?
Well, yes, I have.
What exactly did you do to him?
Yes, I'd love to hear all the details.
Well, he is no longer able to sell things he does not own, nor is he able to take advantage of other people, so to speak.
Huh.
Hmm.
Marvelous.
That
And what
should
do you
be a
call your
new-
chemical concoction
Lady,
exactly?
you have taken my livelihood from me.
Well, merchants who are honest sometimes have repeat customers. Perhaps you should try that line of work. And as to what I did, and she starts to explain, the different roots and salves and things that she mixes together into a paste and then puts it into something that she, that she, like in this case, it was a stew, and there was like this thick paste that she stirred into it that Etsa ate, and then was able to give her money back. He was very polite, she says. He even said, "I cannot take payment for something that is not mine," and handed me my money back for that core. Very polite. Have you been polite since? I hope so, but it'll help you get your livelihood back on track.
I can't say he hasn't been polite.
Just desserts. I love it.
I think perhaps that in the future you should maybe put it into a dessert rather than a stew. It seems a little more
I
ironic.
yes, I love it.
Just desserts.
Perhaps you could put it on the menu as a special for people who,
So- So I do have to say, I mean, Etsa has been some use to us in the past as a group. I mean, I haven't met him before this, but yeah.
Excuse me.
Do we need him to be dishonest again? To do what he was doing for us before?
No. His dishonesty has led us down a dark path multiple times, usually getting out by the skin of our teeth, and the last time it's led us here.
And
Well,
yet, sometimes in life, dishonesty can get you what honesty can.
The Cobalt incident was not my fault.
Not your fault. Did you
The
or did
check-
you not tell them they were a war band and they were popular among the crowd, which led them into getting stoned, as well as the rest of the crowd being hurt by the riot it caused?
I mean, they were popular, not necessarily
Who?
among that specific crowd.
Fascinating, actually. Your lifestyle has led us to a whole bunch of nonsense that I'd rather not.
So, what
Be
is it
injured as much.
exactly that you do in Darkenhaven that you need a contact like him?
Have you ever heard of the Custodians of the Condemned?
Are they in the Gods Ward?
Nope, we're in Ugerton.
Ooh. Well, that's okay.
We work for, wait for it, the ghost of a magistrate who feels bad about the people that he put away and is trying to right wrongs with those people after his death. And I think once he takes care of all this, his ghost will be able to rest. Anyway, the building has been condemned. It says condemned right on the outside. The place where this magistrate lives. And so here we are living in that place, working for this ghost magistrate. So we are the custodians of the condemned.
Deputized by the magistrate, as you can see from our badges.
You seem to be the only one with a badge.
Yeah,
Mine not.
well, that's
Don't mind that.
he's special. He's special.
They
And people question
people
my
indeed.
work.
So
put it
would
a
it
little more
be
bluntly.
since you live in that part of town and are looking for criminals, I can see why your friend here might be of some use.
Please use that as a rather loose term. Friend is not exactly what he is.
That is a strong
Orphaned.
term.
Unwanted
Probably.
acquaintance.
And I could see that if he was to get himself into the wrong circles again, which you can probably see by these bruises that he tried, it might not be best for his health. So perhaps I can give you the remedy if you decide that's what I should do.
I have an idea, though. If it doesn't work out, maybe give one of us or leave it with the custodians of the condemned. The dessert formula, if you know what I'm saying. Just in
Oh,
case
she's
things
already
don't work out.
explained it. And I take a mental note.
Oh,
And I will
you're
get
one
back
of
to my
them
alchemical
fancy
studies.
alchemical kind of fellas, ain't you?
Indeed, I am.
Well, I in Savanor, I could give you the recipe and of the counter agent, so to speak. But I'm not going to give away my secret of the original dessert, so to speak. I will let it be up to you whether or not Etsa can take on his former life.
I'm good with that.
All right, and she grabs, she goes back into the back and gets a piece of parchment and comes back out with a quill and an inkwell and just starts writing down the ingredients of the things that you need to make a counter agent to this alchemical curse that Etsa is under.
There you
Thank you,
go.
my dear. I appreciate that.
All right.
I will
So there are
keep
still
this.
some things. I mean, if you would like to keep talking with Valenrii and ask any questions, you can. But there still is the hiring of a wagon and getting back to Darkenhaven with some statues, perhaps.
Valenrii,
Yes.
I think there might be a business opportunity for us with your skill set. After I've received the antidote, I wonder if we could chat more about your culinary skills.
After you receive the antidote?
I mean, he
Oh,
is
what are you
fairly
trying to
presumptuous there, isn't he?
Well,
He was presumptuous
Yes.
coming to our door, wasn't he?
Quite.
True.
well, I'm. What are you thinking, Etsa?
I am thinking of a franchise.
I am afraid that
But a select one.
I have, as I mentioned on the way here, there is an adventure that Thonia and I have been working on that I must live up first. Perhaps in the future. We have come across something more than rumors about that group of Skandrews that I mentioned. We are planning to make a journey to where we believe they might be staying, to see if we can aid them, see if they even exist. And if not, then perhaps we will start something ourselves to help those who do not believe the Grey Mothers should hold the power that they do. As I mentioned, there comes a time for every warrior to lay down his weapons. And this is not one that can be given or traded except freely. And I sort of mutter to the fusel that I pull out of my holster. It is time for you to work with another Sanquine. We have spent our time together, and I believe that I have made you whole.
Well, yes, darling, but now's just the beginning.
Indeed. And that beginning should not be tainted by what has come before. And I'll look over to Stammond.
Yeah. Are you serious about this?
This weapon needs to serve justice. Needs to serve life, not death. I cannot give it that.
Well, I wish you all the best, and I thank you. I will not deny I will enjoy having one in each hand.
It is
I
a
fear
feeling
the
like no other.
basilisks. Yes, I fear the basilisks and everyone else that stands against us. So
It will
thank
serve you
again.
well. Just be warned that it can be tempting sometimes. Most of the time she's pretty happy-go-lucky. You'll find out what I mean by that.
Tempting, you said.
The weapon tempers it a little. It tempers it quite a lot, actually. But there is still the darkness of the core, whatever caused it. But it will serve you well.
So I think it just clicks with Stammond. I think he thought you were giving him your lesser weapon. Is this the greater one? The hammer?
This is the Hammer of Light.
It just clicks with him, and it washes over his face. You see him go pale. Hold on. This is not. Wow.
I have run my course with it. As I say, it needs to serve justice. But it will always have two sides to it. There's the darkness of the core and the light of the weapon.
Sounds complicated, like life.
And if you choose to put a different core in it, be prepared.
Why?
Or the core by itself is dark.
How
There
dark
is-
exactly?
You probably saw it when I handled it. That was the entirety of my willpower. To not use it in a way it should not be used. But there is a little something extra with the weapon. The Zytherium substitute, I guess, that Thonia used. It has some amplification effects on the core in it. Seems to unlock more power within it, whilst making it less potent. You've probably come across the terminology of charges, I think, when you use cores.
Yeah.
It will reduce the capacity somewhat of each core used in it. But each core will be more powerful than it should be.
Like putting
Are you
oil
saying
on
that
a
you
flame.
just took this dark core and enhanced its darkness?
Not at all. The core itself, I do not know how much you know of fusel cores, but each colour, similar to flowstones, has an area of magic attached to it. And the heliotrope flow core, this one,
Yeah.
it is necrotic in its nature.
I see.
But with the weapon, it seems to deal radiant damage.
Stammond, are you comfortable with this level of malevolence on your hip?
Well,
It is not malevolent, unless it is unleashed.
You did say attempts, and I do want my home to be taken care of as well as my friends, and I don't want one of them to suffer any darkness. I've seen what it does to people.
is there some kind of mental battle I'm gonna have to fight to use this thing?
Every time you speak to it, but not that kind of mental battle.
And
It is more that if it gets in a certain mood, then it might try to encourage you to do things that it shouldn't. But that is the core, not the weapon. The weapon, I can only speak from my experience of the original Hammer of Light.
so let
Oh
me
my
ask.
I
darling,
do
you
not
are
know
not much
how
of a
this one will
matchmaker.
have tempered it. I hope it will have tempered it a little more.
So let
But
me
it may
ask you.
be.
Sorry,
Go
I
on.
was just gonna ask you. Why wouldn't you maybe put another core in it and leave the darker core out of the whole thing?
Because by itself it will cause far more damage.
So
You
we
saw what it did
contain
to
it.
her weapon. Yes. It is what I was seeking to do. It is what Sonia was seeking to do. We thought we had done it with the original Hammer Knight, and Savanor saw what happened to that,
Indeed, I did.
and that held it for a couple of weeks.
Well,
How long did you have this core in your weapon, just out of interest to Valenrii?
Oh, at about 2 weeks, it was when Etsa came, and she hands in Savanor one sheet of paper, and then she hands Etsa another sheet of paper, and says, "If you make it back to yourself, I might have some use for you." And she hands you a piece of paper, and she goes, "But that's just a list of things that I would need if you come back from Darkenhaven. But for a couple of weeks, it's based on what
How
I'm
many
hearing."
shots?
And she looks above the frame of the about 12.
It was about to. I do not know. I suspect it would have corrupted a larger area around it.
You are just
In some
terrible,
fashion.
darling. Why are you telling everybody how bad I am? All I did was take care of you. For so long,
You did.
we worked together.
You did. And you will work together with another. I will give you that gift.
Oh, good.
remember
Well,
what we
get it on
tried.
with. I mean,
Remember what we
he
tried.
looks- he looks doubtful now. What? How am I going to go into this with this doubtful man looking at me like I'm something scary?
Doubtfulness is the same as caution. You can serve a greater master, yeah. Justice.
all right. Well, if you're sure, I'll pull
I
a
believe
holster.
you to be the one.
Thank you again, my friend. It was a pleasure fighting alongside you, and if the opportunity ever arises again, I would take it up in a heartbeat.
If I'm ever back in Darkenhaven, I will seek you.
I
At
will.
least to say hi.
Yeah, you're not the worst person to have come through our door, that's for sure.
No, it's this one.
No one is weirded out by a talking gun. Wait a minute. Yes. Your boss is a ghost. Okay, this makes sense.
All right, I'll strap the belt, the holster on opposite the other one, but I might switch them. For now, I'll probably leave the new one on the offside. Till I know. That's the
And
doubtfulness at work.
as he straps it on, says, "Goodbye, Sang. Say hello to Stammond."
Goodbye, Valenrii. And then she also says goodbye in about 15 other names, which you have, in your early years as a Skundruz, were not quite as lucky to survive quite as long. Especially since your old soul, being an older dwarf to begin with, struggled against it. Until finally they got you in the body of Valenrii. And then as she is handed over to Stammond, you hear a voice in your head. Well, hello, darling. We're gonna have some fun.
Are you talking my draw?
What? Your draw?
Yeah. Oh, this is gonna be fun.
We're just talking, honey. Honey, let's
I know,
have some fun.
I know. Well, if you like to shoot things, I think we'll have some fun.
Oh,
All right.
no, not another one, please. All I hear is Stammond talking from his conversation. I'm like, oh God, no.
And then
so,
I look over at Sav and I see him freak out. I'm like, yeah, this could be fun.
So it's basically the voice in your head that you hear is that of kind of like a bubbly Southern belle, very energetic, very
I'm
excited.
picturing Dolly Parton.
very excitable, very that's kind of how this voice is in your head.
She sounds kind of upbeat,
Yes.
optimistic. Yeah.
Yes.
Always the
Very
optimistic ones that catch you out.
Yeah. You spent any time with Dulcinea?
Oh God.
No, I don't think Dulcinea has met Sanquine yet.
No, I guess I meant Valenrii.
Oh, Valenrii, no.
No, it was Cookie Eye.
Ah, okay.
No.
Well, Dulcinea is pretty upbeat too. She tries to, put sunshine into my life. It doesn't work, but
I don't think she'll need to do that anymore.
I'll bring sunshine.
I guess
I
we'll
tell
see.
you, it was good to have reunited.
And we'll send the stats over via email once we
Enjoy.
Alrighty.
Before you leave Hardingshire, you end up finding someone who you can hire to bring an empty wagon with them.
Okay, good.
And then you make you probably stay for the night because it's getting late. Perhaps you get dinner and some drinks. In Savanor, you now know the way to cure Etsa's curse. All of the reagents are pretty common reagents, just kind of odd in their mixture together. It's kind of like, cinnamon, sugar, and chili powder, type that you're like, why would you put those together? Well,
Sugar and spice and all things nice.
It'll snap him out of it. You guys stay the night, and then you hire an extra wagon and offer to guard them on their way, against all manner of things like basilisks on their way back to Darkenhaven. So you make it back halfway and heft all of these statues into the empty wagon carefully, trying to make sure that there's, that they're not rubbing against each other and cracking and whatnot. And make it back to Darkenhaven. When you make it back to Darkenhaven and the merchant that you paid basically tells you where he's going to take the wagons, because it's easy for you to go get the priest and bring it to the wagons, then bring the wagons into the God's Ward and try and heft these statues into some temple somewhere. You do find a priest of Viana that helps bring this merchant from up north near the borderlands back to himself and his apprentice and his guard, and they are very happy to be saved, and the merchant gives you all about 50 gold worth of different things, you have rescued the merchant. Now the only undone piece for this episode is, what do you do with Etsa?
Are we back in Darkenhaven at the house?
Let me switch us back here.
So I assume we turn in the horses.
Yes.
And we just explain what happened, and I assume we're trying to have the horse unpetrified as well, and explain that we'll get it back to them.
And unless they want a new statue to advertise the,
Yeah.
I mean, it's a marketing idea.
Bit of a costly one, but
Yeah.
So Sasha's very happy that you did, that you're willing to get their horse turned back, and is dismayed by the fact that you guys killed the beast that they were assured that it was, they thought there was these great artisans, and instead it was this terrible lizard thing turning people into statues.
Yeah, the truth is much darker. But we fixed it.
And then Valenrii and Thonia, you guys are headed southeast to the Shadelands after this.
Yep. I do sort of wander over to Etsa before we leave. Just say, if we weren't going where we were going, I would offer you my other fusel. Perhaps set you on a more truthful path. But I fear we're going to need it.
Understandable.
Use this to become a better person.
You want a blade for your offhand?
I sort
pat
of
my
pull one out
cutlass.
and flick it. Like, no, I've already got. Just
All
telling
right. Just
you.
looking
I
out for
feel
you.
you will have more use for that than me. We are not seeking trouble. Trouble may just find us.
Isn't it always the way it works?
No, I'm pretty certain you guys go seeking trouble.
He's not wrong. Exactly.
That's where the fun is. That's where the fun is.
I would have
Yeah,
said
we
the
can't
same
argue
a
with
few
that.
years ago.
Well, best of luck to you. What do we do with this guy?
Well, in Salvador, I know we have not had the best of relationships.
More
but
like
I
a
will-
relationship. Dealing with you has become a nuisance, and it needs to change. And I want to walk him through the house to like where my laboratory is, and like just walk him by himself. Momentary, I'll be right back, Stammond, and walk towards where my lab setup is. Many individuals in this dwelling believe in second chances, and unfortunately, I rank among them. I'm in a home with a short-tempered, very quick-triggered, and now what it seems to be like a sea dwelf with a psychotic firearm on his side. I have a former mercenary that's now a redeemed champion of a goddess, a small mad woman on the brink of insanity, which one of her creations could blow up at least half of this city, and a gigantic slightly obese individual with a massive power of persuasion, and the most dangerous individual within this home has a massive intellect, a curiosity for, I would say, anatomy, sharp objects, and a chemistry set, if you catch my drift.
I do.
I am going to give you the second chance because everyone in this home would demand I give you a second chance. But make no mistake, I am the most dangerous of them, and I have no compunctions for boundaries in morality. If you waste this second chance I give you, I will be the one coming for you and not them. Are we clear?
We are very understood.
Fantastic. Sit over in the corner and don't smudge anything else. And the arm that I used to go back there with him, I press digitate to clean it off. And I get to work to making the reagent.
All right. It takes you about, an hour and a half to make this basically it's a drink that is going to taste absolutely terrible. And you give it to him. Etsa, you drink the drink, and
Yep.
it starts out tasting very sweet, and then it starts tasting tart, and then it starts to burn like a pepper, and then it begins to fizz, and you burp a lot, and you finally come back to yourself,
Oh.
and you feel like you could fence some stuff again. You could sell stolen things. You could lie. You could cheat. You could be yourself once again.
Delicious.
Yes, it seems your smell has come back. I would assume this worked.
My thanks to you, in Salvador.
Keep your thanks. Just keep your word on what we spoke about and tell no one. And be sure to not squander your second chance.
Thank you.
All right.
Well,
go ahead.
Ed, as he gets up and he turns around and he says, Mezin inspire you, as he walks away.
There's one last thing I want to say.
All right.
I want to ask the new Fusel, what do I call you?
Well, Valenrii called me Hammer of Light. He called me the Sanquine Touch. But now that I'm together, darling, you can call me whatever you want. Just call me often.
And don't call you late for dinner.
That's right.
God.
All right, I'll give it some thought.
So Etsa makes his way back into the city of Darkenhaven to rekindle some relationships that have fallen apart since his inability to provide stolen wares and his inability to be very deceptive.
Yep.
Valenrii gets Thonia, and they sell their shop up in Giddings Way, and they stop by on their way out of town about a week later, headed to the southeast to the Shadelands. Stammond spends a lot of time talking to himself in the next week or so.
Yeah.
And in Savanor now has an ally in the underworld for which he can find things that might be of moral questioning in his research. And that is where we will end episode 8, The Sanquine Touch. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, everybody.
Yeah.
Thanks.